Original teaching. Experience brings transformation. End war. Don't you see a pattern to these wars? End war. We seem to be pawns, but what is the game? And whose game is it? Are there reasons for war? Or do wars just happen? The good old game of war, pawn against pawn. It goes on, stopping the bad guys, while somewhere, something sits back and laughs and starts it all over again. Stop listening to the war propaganda. Stop listening to the rationalizations and justifications for war. This is not life. You have got to stop feeding evil. Is this what is in store for our children and our children's children? From here on in, violence, hatred. We have become docile to war. We start fights here and we start fights there, and keep coming back for more like some bloody coliseum. What's next? The roar of the crowds, watching from their armchairs in their dens? Wars appear to just happen. Explanations follow. What power is it that supports the battles and yet starves victory? Two forces, always equally armed. Never mind the guns, where are all the bullets coming from? Who's paying the bills? Is war being staged for us? Complete with weapons, ideology, and patriotic drum beating? Even race and creed hatred? Don't you see a pattern to these wars? War is made neat and painless for the people outside the conflict zones, so neat and painless that no one wants to stop it. Death, destruction, disease, horror, hatred. That's what war is all about. But isn't that why war should be avoided at all costs? Are we being conditioned to think in terms other than war? Or are we being conditioned to support war, to fight its causes as a necessity to peace? Stop believing in the fable that we are hunters, tracking and taking what we need, that because we've always fought, we must continue. Stop the belief that if we are to survive as a nation, we must push outwards. There's another way to thrive and survive: mutual trust and help. For tens of thousands of years, military empires have risen and fallen, all because of war. There has been no advancement towards civilization, no significant change. This is an arrested planet which has become caught up in the throes of war because we have become conditioned to the idea of war. The Empire of the Times always sees himself as the most powerful nation on earth. Why are we still behaving like a group of savages? What is really going on in the minds of our modern leaders? Why do you think you have the right to wage war? National security? To kill thousands and millions of innocent men, women, and children? Do you believe that if it comes down to it, that you have the right to destroy life on a planetary scale? Are you defending this right? You should be embarrassed for fighting wars. Have you forgotten from whence you came? And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven. We are not to be fighting against flesh and blood, but against the invisible enemy. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world. Ephesians 6:12. In the Holy Scriptures, Isaiah 45:7, it reads, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. We tell you now that this is not the living God, but that dragon of great deception, the wicked one, Lord God, Satan. The wicked one seeds the souls of all who enter into this world to produce evil in a variety of forms: murderers, whoremongers, sorcerers, idolaters, thieves, robbers, liars, a diverse number of lawless, disobedient, and ungodly souls. We are all prisoners here of the wicked one. We all have some evil seed inside. None are good. The wicked one's child, the soul inside, is the real enemy. That's the enemy we need to wipe out. How much proof do you need? We have given you the wherewithal herein to end war. Learn how to defend yourself from that evil soul within. Find the wicked one's child inside and prove to yourself that the devil exists. Then you will shed your false beliefs and know that the living God exists. How many more people must die, horribly, before we begin to act like divine beings instead of devils? What are we doing to each other? Are we not all of the one blood? Find the wicked one's child inside and prove to yourself that the devil exists. This is his world of death, decay, and destruction. Once your eyes are opened, it's very easy to see the truth. The soul can be fought, and the influence of the devil can be overcome. However, there can be no peace as long as the devil is in control. During emotional outbursts, the expression of hatred, and the lust for vengeance, the devil's power increases. The devil's power flows through the emotions. The devil's strength increases through mental radiation from hostility, violent interactions. The devil feeds on our hatred of others, making his power of control easier. You must listen. You have got to apply these teachings and learn of the devil inside. It behooves all of us to learn of the wicked one's child, the soul, its evil seeds, and its deceptive ways. Yes, it is most urgent that you recognize the devil, learn its nature, and apply these teachings to halt its activities. Then help others. Those who hate and fight must learn how to stop themselves. No one can jump in and help, otherwise the hating and the fighting will never stop. 1 in 10 people are born with the seated souls of warriors, predators, hunters, killers. They are a killer species. It's instinctive. To them, war is glorious. Weapons are a thing of beauty. It is by design that they fight. They have a curious lack of interest in stopping war. To speak of stopping war is an unfriendly act, an act of desertion, an act of treason. They are human beings with the souls containing the blood of 1,000,000 savage years. But it can be stopped. They can be identified early in life and their abilities redirected. Stop being pawns. Stop being a toy, a plaything of the wicked one. Stop being a good soldier that never questions orders. Stop the wars now. Make peace before it's too late. All fighting must cease. A worldwide truce is ordered. The fighting is over. Lay down your weapons. Cease hostilities. Disarm. The ability to do this has never been available to mankind until now. The wicked one is composed of pure energy, pure thought. He is totally incorporeal. History reveals he has a far superior intelligence with a purpose. He is capable of manipulating matter and minds. Imagination and emotion are a constant source of deception for the devil. Soul psychology and combat capabilities have been honed by the wicked one who has designs on both powers. The soul acts as a catalyst, creating situations in order to satisfy the wicked one's appetite. The wicked one brings together opposing forces and provides crude instruments in an effort to promote the most violent mode of conflict, keeping both sides somewhat balanced so it can maintain the violence as long as possible. He loves the atrocities of war, created by affecting men's brainwaves so they are changed into a state of paranoid behavior where they lose control. For example, they can no longer control their actions. It's them or us. We're out to even the score. Vendettas. They swear on the graves to avenge the murder. Those filthy butcherers. A fight to the death. We must start to deny in the wicked one of the force of hatred which is enveloping the planet. All hostile activities must arrest. The fighting must end. But how can it without a common cause, a common purpose, a common enemy, without the knowledge, peace, or continued destruction? Recent events seem to be directed towards a magnification of hostilities between various human factions. Has the wicked one come down to us having great wrath because he knoweth he hath but a short time? The wicked one's child is affecting your mind right now even as you listen to this. Doubt? He doesn't want you to try and apply these teachings, for in doing so your eyes would be open and you would see that child of his that is inside you, that evil soul. He is going to lead you away. One way or another, wash this from your mind. The empire of the times always sees himself as the most powerful nation on earth. It becomes very unsettling when they rediscovered the wicked one's deception that the sum of the pieces is greater than the whole. Unfortunately, there's no guarantee that this will be believed or taken seriously because the wicked one is so powerful. Few there be who can resist him. Jesus was fighting the wicked one and his child and the evil souls in people, even his closest disciples, every moment of the day, right up until the end, when the bloodlust took his earthly form. Do you think the messengers like coming into this world to try and help you? Then Jesus said, O faithless and perverse generations, How long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? The messengers find coming here most disgusting. Your emotions are most discordant. Being in the presence of beings like yourself is intensely painful, and yet they come to help. Tell the clear message. God is love. Takeaway. For tens of thousands of years, military empires have risen and fallen, all because of war. There's been no advancement towards civilization, no significant change. This is an arrested planet which has become caught up in the throes of war because we have become conditioned to the idea of war. Please click here to subscribe and watch this next video, or watch this next video. Thank you.